knowing your track record on education, I know those viewing us from across the world this morning will actually be educated from the interactions that we are going to have with you. Once again, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, and I'm so happy that you are here, and I hope the discussions we are going to have will delve deep into education and bring out the information that is necessary that will bring about this country's development.
Thank you very much. Okay, we are going to start with a question that is bothering many people, I mean, in the country and even the Upper East region at large, which is actually about education, the education of our children. You have been in the industry for many years and retired, and even continuing giving your quota to the state and the region at large. I want to find out what actually have you, is your general overview with regards to education.
Thank you very much. You've asked me, and I will tell you. Fortunately, I have worked in all the regions of Ghana as far as education is concerned. And to be very specific, except the Western, the Volta, and Brunga, I have worked in education. I've worked in education from the basic to tertiary level. And to be very frank with you, we are all Ghanaians. And sometimes, when we come to this question of education, certain salient things come out. If you look at the school infrastructure of all the schools, you're talking about the North. And it means you don't want us to avoid comparison. So if I am telling you the differences between what I have observed for you, we are not deliberately sort of escalating sentiments. And I will advise viewers that we should look at it in this way, that we are not being confronted with it. One thing has come to stay in this country. That if you look at the educational disparity between the North and the South, I don't normally like to start blaming people, but I think it is the colonial government that created that problem. History tells us that they came along the coast, the sea, settled in the South, set up schools, brought a lot of educational developments in the South, and the Northern Territories was left untouched. After some time, the white man discovered that those they trained in the South, some went abroad, obtained PhDs, came back, and did not strictly obey the colonial masters. So when they stepped out to the North, today I think it wasn't a mistake that they did that. I said, we have trained these people from the South, but look at what they are doing. They're not taking exactly what we're telling them. In any case, we have found cocoa, we found gold, and so on there. For the North, we should have a different thing. Train them, they will provide the labor force for the South. Okay? Do you see? Yeah. The thing started. Don't say I am saying, it started. The labor force. So the level of education, even there, critically, they will not even open schools all over the North. The missionaries came, drove them away. And I think the North owes a lot to the Catholic mission, but for the Catholic mission. I would have been so illiterate that I would not even be talking to you now. The Catholics came, forced, tried to open the schools against the colonial government's wish, and succeeded in opening the school. That is not the topic we are talking about now. So the colonial government then had this idea. The North, they should just be taught arithmetic, how to be able to express themselves, and to be their interpreters and provide a labor force for the South. So really, this is what really happened. So, unfortunately, when this was going on and Nkrumah asked for self-government, I can mention their names later, a group of Northerners came together and said, we are not yet ready for independence. The way the South has developed, if we tailor with them, they will drag us behind. So why don't we wait for some time? And the Queen is not dead, she is still there. He said, Nkrumah, this is what your people are saying. He said, okay, we will give you some money. I'm not, but if you get to the attack, about 10 million pounds, and this will be meant to bring accelerated educational development in the North. And this will involve the following. All people of Northern extraction who will be entering secondary schools opened either in the North or in the South should be taken care of from this money. Open several schools only in the North, the Ghana Educational Trust schools. Several of them, equip them well. Teachers who have left school should be called back to the only secondary school in the North to begin from Form 4, and their maintenance will be taken from this. Northerners don't qualify for the Ashanti Gold and the Cocoa Marketing Board scholarships. So this was that. Then Nkrumah then said, you won't keep this money here, give it to me, I will go home with them and we will do that. That's where Nkrumah said, I prefer self-government in servitude to freedom in tranquility.
I see.
So the Northerners, very reasonable as they were, said, well, he would then agreed and came. But let's ask ourselves, you see, I don't like the blame syndrome. If this was a fact, what happened? It came up. The Ghana Education Trust schools started putting them all over the country instead of the North. That already was a decline from the agreement. And the Northerners just sat down and watched it. I was regional director of education here. I can count the schools. When I was transferred to the Eastern region, there was an equal number of the Ghana Educational Trust schools there than in the North.
Wow.
And my brother and listeners, please, so few the schools there were that were put up, but this is where the average Ghanaian who didn't know the history then started saying the North was enjoying free education. That free education was not Ghana government money or Gold Coast government money yet, because we were not independent, but the colonial government money, which was brought to accelerate development so that the North will bridge up. But I'm coming to something. So that thing was the birthright of any Northerner, including me. If you tell me, Ajane, you enjoyed that free education, I will argue with you to the hilt. I will never agree with you. I will say that that was my birthright. What the colonial government didn't give me and gave to the South, that's what they gave to us. All we now want is, well, let's quarrel over issues. Can somebody take a forensic audit out to the supposed 10 million pounds that was left to see whether that money was exhausted and that the money was used for the purpose for which it was given? Fortunately, governments of Ghana are sensitive, and the welfare aspect, as they have been said, the battle is not finished. If this was the case, what can we do now? Even if you still think that it was free, if it is free for me, why don't we legislate that all of us will have it free? Fortunately, the government of the NPP came into power and brought about this free senior high school spec. And some of us who were the doubting Thomases said, it can't happen, it can't happen. And they looked at one area which I don't agree, that there is no infrastructure to take up more people who will be entering school. The Englishman says you can't eat your cake and have it. How many schools in this country, somebody should challenge me, you will fail. Where in this country, and what was the period that when they wanted to build a secondary school, they finished building the secondary school with order and opened it? Even our universities, our premier university, Legon, started from Akimoto College. When they wanted to have a university, they didn't put up the university there. So people say infrastructure, I don't agree with them. We have to start somewhere and then give as it is. Haven't we succeeded? Let me answer the question. We have. 4 or 5 years ago, was it like this? No. Is it better? I say very better. Many people have had chance to go. The access is open. People have had chance to go to the senior high schools. Avenues are opened. More infrastructure has come. More infrastructure will come. So the doubting Thomases will now say, no, if we had to wait, it wouldn't happen. So even though I say we shouldn't blame, but we should praise the NPP government for having that in their mind to save Ghana. Now the same government, you see, something is happening in this country. We are beautiful planners, but very poor implementers. Look at what happened even with the Queen. Go and put out schools. We went and use the money to do other things. You know, the senior high school system has come to stay permanently. It is completely irreversible. People are very happy with it, and I endorse that.